Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? I hope your Thursday's been fantastic. Hey, look, today I want to take you on a bit of a South African journey. We did South African food yesterday, and now we're going to do some more. We're going to do the South African curry mince. Different way of cooking mince to yesterday. So for those of you who are on yesterday, we did the babuti, which is a South African beautiful dish. The kids devoured it. Like, they absolutely ate so much that hubby and I had to supplement with other stuff by the time I got home from the gym. So that's how well received that was. If you've not done that, give it a try. For those of you who are gluten-free, I skipped out the bread and it worked perfectly. So give that a go. But today, South African curry mince, which I'm super excited about. I've had this before at a team meeting. I was blessed enough to have this cooked for us, and it was amazing with a fry bread of some sort. It was like a fried off bread. I'm not going to do that, obviously, that's full of gluten, but I'm going to do this tonight. So come along and I'll show you how to do this. Feel free to say hi if you're on today. If you know what you're having for dinner, let's inspire each other. I'd love to know. So let's get cooking. First things first is one onion cut into quarters. So quarters, we're just going to do half, guys, because that's how I roll. Let's not play with the onion too much when you're in a confined space. Okay, next, 2 cloves of garlic. I've just got my cheap paste at the moment. Just how we're rolling at the moment. It says 2 cloves, so I'm going for 1 big scoop. Oh, let's put a little bit more in. We love garlic. Okay, next, which is why I can't keep up at the moment with the garlic. 2 ripe tomatoes cut into halves. Now I'm going to bring up the scales. Did you know you can bring up the scales mid-recipe? Because it says approximately 300 grams. So I've got littler ones, so I'm going to put them in. Interesting, a little bit of an interesting fact for you guys. Sometimes if you make things like tomato soup, you might notice that it actually comes out orange and not red. That's actually because a lot of our fruit is gas ripened. So the inside, as much as it looks pinky or pinky red, when you blitz it, it's orange because it wasn't quite ripe when it came. Imagine if they picked them off the tree super ripe, they never make them to the store for them to sell and to be able to sit there for a day or two on the shelf. So that's why you'll notice that often it is orange because it's actually not ripe yet. So I'm a little bit short. I might add that off camera later. We'll see how we go. Next. Veggie oil, I'm using olive oil because that's just what I've got. Use what you've got. That'll do. Next, it's at the lid and we're going to do some chopping. Should I grab another, I'm going to grab another one. Hang on a second, I need to grab another tomato. Sorry about the interlude. Now, if you don't have fresh tomatoes, chuck in tin tomatoes. That'll be perfectly fine as well. Hello, Denise. Lovely to have you on. Spaghetti bolognese. Amazing. It must be a mince night. Everybody's having mince stuff. Okay, 3 seconds, speed 7. Let's give that a chop down. Okay, next. Scrape down the sides with a spatula and add 20 grams of curry powder. So, good old Keen's curry powder. I'm going to get to the bottom. Oh, look at this, more spaghetti bolognese. I love that. It is so that weather. Who was it that shared a beautiful dish earlier on the page? And I thought, oh, the bread and butter pudding that was put up today. Actually, that might be my customer support group. I was like, it is so that weather now where everything's that warming stuff. My kids have had so much custard and creamed rice and those sorts of really warming stuff lately because of the cold weather here. Can't wait to escape in 6 weeks' time and go up north. Okay, 20 grams of curry powder. So it's a fair amount of curry powder. That's like nearly 2 tablespoons. Looking at how much I'm putting in. Oh, there we go. I love the smell of this stuff. We don't get to use it often enough here. That's why the container's still full. In on with the lid. Now it's going to cook for 3 minutes. It's going to make that beautiful curry smell cook off. Now, while this is happening, we know this is prep time for the rest of our things that we need to get out. So it says in the recipe you need a brown vinegar. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to use apple cider vinegar. I thought I'd shake it up today, and I'm going to use red rice vinegar. Red wine vinegar. Gosh, my goodness. It's not even Friday yet and I can't get my words together. So no, I'm going to use a red vinegar just because. It says salt. Obviously when we see salt we think stock. Okay, so I've got my stock out. It says pepper. You need your mince, and it says brown sugar, I think, or sugar. I'm going to use my monk fruit sweetener, which works perfectly well for us here. Now, something to think about if you're cooking this at home later, what are you going to serve it with? So we're just going to serve it with rice tonight, but you can certainly serve it with whatever you'd like or on its own, or with the fry bread. It would be beautiful all of the above ways. Actually, I think the picture in the South African collection that came out last month, which is where it comes from, they serve it on the fry bread. Is where they serve that on, which is what I had it on last time as well. So lots of different ways that you can use this. Even I reckon it would probably be nice on pasta even, if you wanted to cook some pasta in there as well. What there is worth noting on this recipe is it's quite a long recipe for rice. Okay, so if I compared the, not rice, mince is the word I was after. It's quite a long recipe for a mince recipe. Like there's some, like the chunky bolognese, that's like a 20-minute recipe all up. So the first bit's cook off the onion and stuff, and then put the mince in, and then it cooks. And it's done in such a short time. This one has a few processes and steps along the way. We've got a 15-minute cook towards the end. We've got a 10-minute cook, and I think we've got another cook as well. Obviously, I'm not going to stay on for all of that today, but it's worth noting that it's not a quick mince recipe. Although I am looking, this is the first time I've made it. I love that I get to share with you guys new recipes, but I am looking for ways that I can make this faster. Because you guys know that I'm all about in and out the kitchen as fast as I can. There's no, don't have spare time for standing around and watching a Thermomix cook. And that's the beauty of Thermomix cooking, we don't have to. So now, please remember to tell friends and family. Well, I've got a second to tell you. Second bowl offer is on, okay? $99 to get a TM6 with a second bowl for $99. Amazing deal. I want it. I want a spare bowl. So if you've got people sitting on the fence and maybe they've been to one of your demos, maybe you've had a demo and they've been and had to make a decision, please reach out to them and say, hey, this offer is on. Can you reach out to Lisa? She'll give you more information if you're ready to get a Thermomix. Because obviously I mentioned yesterday, the other thing that's imminent is our price increase. Now, we've never had a price increase since the TM6 arrived. So it's been 2 years, and amazingly they've been able to keep it the same. But obviously with logistics and all that sort of stuff and COVID and our world since then, things change. So, I mean, it doesn't matter for people who haven't seen a Thermomix yet, but for those who have been contemplating on a Thermomix and they're sitting there going, oh, mate, do I want one, don't I want one? And we don't know what that price increase is going to even look like. If it's a little bit or a big bit, we haven't the foggiest. So we will know, though, I believe in July, which will be good to know. But until then, it would be fantastic if you can give heads up to those people that have seen a Thermomix, they're thinking on a Thermomix, and maybe they're saving and waiting on the right time. Let them know. Okay, I'd hate for them to miss out and then have to save a bit more because they're not ready yet. All right, let's keep going. Nearly done. 20 grams of sugar. See the tips. I'm not going to worry about seeing the tips. I'm just going to follow the recipe. It is the first time making it. Just going to put this into my hand only because I don't want to get the humidity from the bowl and I don't have any big spoons left. So I'll just do hands. Someone said to me the other day, I can't remember who that was, who said to me about the fact that they measure everything by their hands too. All right, brown vinegar, or today, red wine vinegar. I can say it now. All right. For those of you who are in my Facebook group, I am loving seeing what you're making. Thanks for sharing. It is awesome to see all these beautiful foods that are coming out of your Thermomix. And I love today, Lisa mentioned the fact that she made beautiful chicken Kievs and then made for the kids chicken nuggets with the same mix. So she got, I think she said 8 Kievs and a whole lot of nuggets. And, less than $20 for all that. Like, you can't go out and buy food that cheap. Definitely not. And even if you go buy them ready-made at the deli section, they're significantly more expensive than that, and they're packed with other flavor things that we don't necessarily want to eat. So how good is that you can save money with your Thermomix eating amazing food? All right, 1 dried bay leaf. We don't do dried here. We get it off the front tree, so we have 1 fresh bay leaf. I don't know if it matters. I've always just done that. 1 teaspoon of salt, which is my stock. Actually, I haven't always. I did have, how you buy that packet of bay leaves, and they last for like 5 years. I had one of those for a long time as well, but that packet is now finished. All right, so 1 teaspoon equals 1 tablespoon of stock, 4 times the amount. So I'm just going for a really big scoop. I'm going to put a little bit more in. Maybe the kids are arguing in the shower. Children, who would have them? Okay, insert the simmering basket. Simmering basket. Those of you with a TM5 or TM30, when you don't have a flap, it doesn't matter for this recipe. The flap is really to do with sous videing and stopping your bag with your meat in it floating to the top and blocking your hole in the top. This will stop that. So that's what this is about, my little flappy thing, okay? All right, in with the simmering basket. Next, it's going to ask for my mince. 500 grams of beef mince. I think mine's pork. Oh, well. I'm just looking at the colour of that, thinking it's looking a bit bland. So I freeze mine all in 500 grams, or 486 today, bag, so that it's ready for next time. Break up the mince using a spatula. I'm just going to use a spoon, because that's what I've got. Because at the moment, mine's one big rectangle. Now, interestingly with this recipe, I'm not going to show you through to the end, otherwise we'd be here all night. But what is interesting to note is after a cook in this simmering basket, they then get you to put the mince into the bowl and it cooks for 15 minutes. Now hang on, let's just do this next step and I want to talk you through something. Break up mince without the measuring cup now. Just want to cover something. So it's got 10 minutes, speed 4, reverse, 100 degrees. Now, let's just go through. Wow, that's nice and smoothie. Recipe details. Okay. Then it asks you to use your spatula and stir the mince and cook for another 10 minutes, exactly the same as now. Okay. Then it asks you to take your mince. It's just noisy. Just going to turn it down for a second. It then asks you after another 10-minute cook. So you've got 10 minutes now, then it says stir, 10 more minutes, then it says tip the contents of your simmering basket into the bowl with that food. And it's going to cook on reverse. I think it was slow speed or 1.5, something really slow, but for 15 minutes. Now to me, that scares me. Okay? Hand on heart. It scares me a little bit because I know that there is a risk with 15 minutes cooking that it will turn into a slush. Okay, and that comes down to a few factors. It's going to come down to the water content in your mince, and that is different brand to brand. It's going to come down to, is it frozen and you've lost water content out of it, and it's a bit drier, it probably will be a bit better. There's going to be lots of factors, but also it's a bit like chicken breast. The moment it gets to cooked in there, it starts shredding. If it was in a liquid, it will start pulling itself apart like pulled pork because there's no fat on it. Similarly with mince, by the time we've cooked it for 10 minutes and another 10 minutes, we're then up to 20 minutes, then we're going to put it in there and it's going to cook for 15. I will be checking it at the 7-minute mark. This is what I'm thinking. This is my gut, okay? This is my 7.5 years having a Thermomix. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to infuse the curry flavour into the mince. That's the concept. But depending on how far you've broken the mince down, like yesterday, remember how I put it in big chunks? It came out perfect because it didn't get too overcooked that it started to shred and disintegrate. So I'm going to stop it at 7 minutes in that 15-minute cook time, and I'm going to check. If it looks cooked, which you'll know, it'll either be pink or it won't be. And actually, I think it will be pink by the time, I think it'll be brown, by the time we put it in there. But if it looks done, I'm going to cut it short early. I'm going to stop at that 7-minute mark, and I'm going to serve it up at that 7-minute mark. Because to me, at 15 minutes, it's going to probably be a slush. Okay, so there's my tip of the day. Make this recipe. I will give you some feedback when I load the picture tonight. I'll give you some feedback if I stopped at the 7 or if I stopped at the 10 or if I stopped at the 15. If I stopped at the 15 and it's slush, I'll give you do this instead. Alright, because I don't want you to end up with something that's not usable or edible for you and your family. Alright, that's it from me today. I'm going to let this cook. I'm going to turn it up to speed 4 so it creates more steam and gets that up and cooks that mince. Then knock it down again with the spatula, break it up a little bit. It's going to cook for another 10 minutes. I reckon by that 20-minute time it's going to be cooked. I'll be tipping it into the juice inside to then let it infuse for not 15 minutes, but I'm going to aim for 7. And I'll let you know where it goes from there. Alright guys, take care. Have a fantastic afternoon and evening. I'll be back here tomorrow afternoon, and I'm actually not doing dinner. I'm doing something else, and I can't remember what it was, but I know it wasn't dinner. So I think it's some sort of sweets, desserts. Pizza log. I'm getting told it's pizza log. That's Saturday night. That's Saturday. It's not Friday. It's okay. I'm being told that we're doing pizza log tomorrow night. That's not what I have on Facebook Live planned. Have a great one, guys. Take care. Call me if I can help you in any way regarding a Thermomix, or if you have friends and family who want to talk more about getting a TM6 on the bench and making their life so much easier, simpler, healthier, and all those things as well. So take care, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye, guys.